Hello, Mr. Beard here with your class recap for Monday, February 28th. Our objectives today were 1. To identify Friar Lawrence's role in the Romeo and Juliet play, and 2. To define the word fickle. We began with a bell ringer, which was writing a one-sentence recap of Act 2, Scene 2. We got the dry erase boards out, and groups had to come up with a one-sentence recap of yesterday's reading, and the best group won a trophy bigger than your entire body. The next thing we did was get into Act 2, Scene 3. So Act 2, Scene 2 was the famous balcony scene. Romeo sneaking into the Capulet garden, peering up at the love of his life, who he just met a few hours before, and basically proclaiming his dying allegiance to her, and Juliet responding to that love with, her own statements of adulation. And Juliet ups the ante a little bit, and basically, if you remember, says that she's willing to marry him. And if he's serious, he'll get a priest, and they'll get married. Well, fast forwarding to Act 2, Scene 3, which we read today, Romeo sets out to do just that and get a priest to marry them and prove to Juliet that he's serious, and get them married. So he goes to Friar Lawrence, who we can tell by the scene he has a relationship with. Friar Lawrence knows right off the bat that Romeo was head over heels for Rosaline, and when he finds out that he's not obsessed with Rosaline anymore, and is now instead wanting to marry this girl he just met named Juliet, he knows instantly that Romeo is rushing into this and making an immature, foolish decision, but he also recognizes that if they were to get married, it would bring the Capulets and the Montagues together, and he wants to see peace. And he acts against his better judgment and agrees to marry Romeo and Juliet. His role, Friar Lawrence's role, if you remember, that was one of our objectives for today. His role in the play is to be a helpful voice of reason. So while Romeo and Juliet are immature and acting on their passions, Friar Lawrence is the adult, sound voice of reason. Even though I say adult, we know, and we discussed this in class, that the Capulets, the father, and Montague, the father, are not very reasonable, and they're acting on their aggression and impulses too. So his role in this play is to be kind of the voice of reason, similar to Benvolio, while all these people are freaking out around him. After that, we watched a Rocketbook video that kind of broke down the events of the play and analyzed them for us, and discussed the word fickle. So remember, that was our second objective. And fickle very aptly describes Romeo's love interest. Fickle means you change your mind a lot, basically. It's marked by a lack of steadfastness, constancy, or stability, and it's given to erratic changeableness. That is Romeo's love interest right there. The play begins with him obsessed with Rosaline, and very quickly he wants to marry Juliet. So that covers what we did today in class on Monday, February 28th. Thanks for listening. Have a great day.